Most people get it wrong about love. The quiet, steady partners get called boring, while the dramatic, unpredictable ones are seen as passionate. But this understanding is completely backward. Real love isn't about extreme ups and downs. It's not about drama or constant butterflies in your stomach. Those feelings that seem so exciting, they're often just anxiety in disguise. Mature love looks different. It's not flashy. It creates a sense of safety instead of constant excitement. And this isn't because it lacks passion. It's because it offers something much deeper and more valuable. Many people chase after relationships that keep them on edge, mistaking that emotional roller coaster for depth of feeling. Meanwhile, they might be overlooking the real thing that's been right in front of them all along. Understanding what mature love actually looks like can change everything. It helps spot genuine connection and let go of relationships that create more pain than growth. This understanding doesn't come naturally. Most movies, songs, and stories teach exactly the opposite. What makes a relationship last isn't grand gestures or intense drama. It's those everyday behaviors that might seem ordinary, but actually reveal extraordinary care. These quiet signs often go unnoticed, but once recognized, they change how relationships are understood forever. The signs of mature love might not make headlines or viral social media posts. They don't fit into romantic comedies or dramatic love songs, but they create something much more valuable. Relationships that actually last and help people grow, rather than keeping them stuck in cycles of heartbreak. So many people spend decades searching for connection, moving from one disappointing relationship to another, not realizing they're looking for the wrong signals. They mistake intensity for depth, drama for passion, and controlling behavior for care. Breaking these patterns requires understanding what healthy love actually looks like in practice. By the end of this video, these signs will be impossible to miss, and that awareness might just save years of chasing after the wrong connections while missing the right ones. Want to know the biggest secret about lasting love? It's not about those big romantic moments. It's about what happens on ordinary Tuesday afternoons. Consistency reveals everything. Anyone can show up once with flowers and sweet words, but who's still there when life gets messy? When work is stressful? When nothing exciting is happening? Look for patterns over time, not moments of intensity. The person who calls when they say they will, who shows up on time, who remembers the small details without being reminded. These aren't little things. They're everything. This steady presence creates something magical in the brain, a sense of safety. And only with safety can real intimacy grow. The body and mind finally relax when they know someone is truly reliable. The most revealing moments often come during inconvenient times. Who shows up when it's difficult? Who keeps their word when breaking it would be easier? This consistency isn't just about being dependable, it's about showing what truly matters. Think about couples who've stayed together for decades. They rarely talk about grand romantic gestures. Instead, they mention thousands of small moments of showing up for each other. That's the foundation that nothing can shake. Watch for the small tests that reveal big truths. When plans need to change last minute, how does someone respond? When they're tired or stressed, does reliability falter or remain steady? These everyday moments reveal more about someone's capacity for mature love than any Valentine's Day gesture ever could. Time reveals patterns that words can hide. Someone can claim anything in a moment of enthusiasm, but only consistent behavior over months and years reveals the truth. This consistency isn't exciting in the traditional sense, but it creates something much more valuable. A relationship where trust doesn't require constant verification. Most relationship anxiety comes from inconsistency, never quite knowing where you stand or what to expect. When someone's words and actions align reliably across time, that anxiety finally dissolves, allowing real connection to flourish. Even seemingly small moments contain powerful information. Does someone text when they'll be late? Do they remember commitments made in passing conversation? Do they follow through on promises without needing reminders? These behaviors might seem minor, but they create the bedrock of emotional safety that allows love to deepen over time. Consistency shows up in emotional responses too. Not that emotions are always the same, but that reactions remain within a predictable range. Dramatic mood swings and unpredictable responses create confusion and fear, while stable emotional patterns allow for genuine closeness. The way someone responds to problems reveals the truth about their love. There's a world of difference between empty comfort and real support. Some people just say what sounds good in the moment. Don't worry, everything will be fine. But words without action can actually make things worse. They create false hope without real solutions. True care tackles the actual problem, not just the feelings about it. This doesn't mean ignoring emotions. It means addressing what caused them in the first place. When stress about money comes up, does the response stop at, "Don't worry about it"? Or does it include sitting down to make a budget? When feeling overwhelmed with responsibilities, does help actually arrive or just sympathetic words? This problem-solving approach is often misunderstood. It's not about fixing people or dismissing feelings. It's about caring enough to address the real issues causing pain. It says, "Your well-being matters enough for me to take action, not just offer words." The most revealing moments come during real difficulties. Anyone can be supportive when things are easy, but who rolls up their sleeves when challenges arise? That reveals the depth of someone's commitment. Watch for the follow-through after conversations about problems. Does anything actually change, or do the same issues keep coming up with no resolution? Mature love moves beyond endless discussion into meaningful action that addresses root causes. This action-oriented care often comes in forms that don't look traditionally romantic. It might be researching solutions to a problem keeping someone up at night, creating systems that reduce daily stress, taking on responsibilities without being asked when someone is overwhelmed. These practical expressions of love might not make for great social media posts, but they improve life in ways that matter. The difference becomes clearest during times of real hardship, health problems, job loss, family difficulties. Immature love often retreats when things get complicated. Mature love steps forward asking, "How can I help?" and then actually providing that help in tangible ways. Look for the balance between listening and acting. Mature love knows when each is needed. Sometimes the most caring response is simply creating space for feelings to be expressed. Other times, it's taking decisive action to solve a problem. The wisdom to know the difference comes from genuine attention to someone's needs, rather than assumptions about what they want. Even small problems reveal this pattern. Does someone notice when daily stresses are building up and take initiative to lighten the load? Do they anticipate needs before they become crises? These proactive forms of care demonstrate both attention and commitment. The order of giving and receiving tells a powerful story in relationships. Some people focus first on what they can get. Others focus first on what they can give. This difference changes everything. Watch for the timing. Does care consistently come before there's anything to gain? Or does attention suddenly appear after getting something desired? This pattern reveals core values about relationships. This goes beyond material things into everyday interactions. Does listening come before being heard? Does support come without keeping score? Does care continue even when it's not being noticed or appreciated in the moment? The brain responds completely differently to these patterns. Relationships focused on taking trigger stress and vigilance. Relationships where giving comes first create openness and trust. Look for evidence in small moments. Who makes sure others are comfortable before thinking about their own comfort? Who contributes without calculating what they'll receive in return? These patterns reveal how someone truly views relationships, as transactions or as opportunities for genuine care. This doesn't mean healthy relationships don't have balance. They absolutely do. But the sequence matters. Giving that comes before receiving builds trust that can weather any storm. Pay attention to what happens after disappointments. When expectations aren't met, does caring behavior continue or suddenly disappear? Conditional care that vanishes when things don't go as planned reveals a fundamental immaturity in how love is understood. The most telling patterns emerge during life transitions, job changes, moving, health challenges. Does support remain steady even when the relationship dynamics temporarily shift? Mature love maintains presence and care even when the usual patterns of give and take become temporarily unbalanced. This investment-first approach creates a cycle of security and abundance. When both people give generously without keeping score, the relationship develops a resilience that transactional connections never achieve. Instead of monitoring for fairness in each interaction, the focus shifts to the overall pattern of mutual care across time. Even the language used reveals this orientation. Notice whether someone speaks primarily in terms of what they expect to receive or what they hope to contribute. The different focus reveals fundamentally different approaches to relationships and love. This generosity often extends beyond the relationship itself to how someone treats others who can offer them nothing in return. This broader pattern of giving without expectation reveals a character trait rather than a strategic behavior aimed at getting something specific. Here's something surprising about love. It's revealed not just by what someone will do, but by what they refuse to do because they value the relationship. Mature love creates clear boundaries, not controlling rules that limit freedom, but respectful lines that protect what matters. These boundaries come from personal values, not demands. The most telling moments happen when no one would know about a choice. How does someone behave when they could easily cross a line without getting caught? That reveals their true character and respect for the relationship. These boundaries go beyond obvious things like fidelity. They include how time is managed, how money is handled, how other relationships are navigated. When choices consistently honor the relationship, not because of rules but because of values, that demonstrates real depth of feeling. This creates a powerful truth. Healthy boundaries aren't restrictions on freedom. They're expressions of freedom, the freedom to choose what truly matters most. This internal compass guides behavior whether anyone is watching or not. Watch for respect of personal boundaries as well. Does someone acknowledge and honor limits, or do they push for what they want regardless of comfort levels? Mature love creates space for individual needs while maintaining connection. These boundaries often show up in digital spaces too. How does someone talk about the relationship to others? What gets shared publicly versus kept private? Mature love protects intimate details rather than exploiting them for attention or sympathy from others. Financial boundaries reveal volumes about respect for the relationship. Clear communication about spending, saving, and financial priorities demonstrates consideration for shared well-being rather than just personal desires. Time boundaries matter just as much. Does someone protect quality time together from constant interruptions? Do they create space in their schedule that's dedicated to the relationship? These choices reveal what truly has priority in someone's life. Even the boundaries around conflict show maturity. Does someone refuse to fight in certain ways, like using personal vulnerabilities as weapons or threatening the relationship during disagreements? These self-imposed limits demonstrate respect for both the other person and the connection itself. Social boundaries also reveal relationship priorities. Does someone maintain appropriate distance from situations that could threaten trust? Do they make choices that protect the relationship from external pressures or temptations? These boundaries aren't about control, they're about valuing what's been built together. Words only have meaning when they match with actions. When someone says one thing but does another repeatedly, both their words and actions lose power. Mature love shows remarkable consistency between what's said and what's done. This doesn't mean perfection. It means that over time, patterns of behavior generally reflect stated values and promises. This alignment creates clarity instead of confusion. When words and actions consistently match, they form reliable patterns that don't need constant interpretation or worry about hidden meanings. The impact on emotional well-being can't be overstated. The brain constantly scans for inconsistencies that might signal danger. When words and actions repeatedly align, the nervous system registers safety, allowing deeper connection. People who demonstrate mature love might say less, but what they say carries the weight of demonstrated truth. Their feelings aren't shown through dramatic declarations, but through dependable patterns that create security. Watch how commitments are treated, big and small. Are they remembered and honored, or easily forgotten and dismissed? The way someone handles their word in small matters predicts how they'll handle it in larger ones. This alignment extends to how feelings are expressed. Mature love doesn't say, "I'm not angry," while acting irritated. It doesn't say, "You're a priority," while consistently making choices that suggest otherwise. This congruence between stated feelings and actual behavior creates an environment where trust can flourish. Even promises about the future reveal this pattern. Mature love doesn't make grand promises about changing without showing evidence of that change in the present. Words about tomorrow align with actions today, creating credibility that empty promises never can. This match between words and actions allows for genuine trust to develop. Not the fragile trust based on hope or wishful thinking, but solid trust built on a foundation of proven reliability across time and circumstances. The absence of this alignment creates profound anxiety and confusion. When words consistently don't match actions, reality becomes impossible to grasp. This misalignment forms the basis of many toxic relationship patterns where promises are repeatedly made and broken. Truth in small matters builds confidence in larger ones. Does someone admit mistakes quickly rather than denying them? Do they express thoughts and feelings honestly, even when it's uncomfortable? This pattern of truthfulness in daily interactions creates the foundation for deeper trust. Nothing reveals the truth about love more than how disagreements are handled. Some people attack, others avoid. But mature love does something different. It stays engaged while remaining respectful. Watch what happens during disagreements. Can different perspectives be heard without defensiveness? Can viewpoints be expressed without attacking? Is finding a solution more important than being right? The difference is visible in the brain and body. Immature conflict triggers threat responses that shut down rational thinking. Mature conflict keeps the thinking brain online, allowing both emotional understanding and problem solving. Even more revealing is what happens after disagreements. Does resentment linger? Are past conflicts brought up as weapons later, or are issues truly resolved with genuine forgiveness? These patterns predict relationship success better than almost anything else. The ability to move through disagreement while maintaining respect forms the foundation for navigating life's inevitable challenges together. It transforms potential breaking points into opportunities for deeper understanding. Notice how criticism and feedback are handled. Does defensiveness immediately arise, or is there openness to hearing difficult truths? Mature love can receive feedback without taking it as a personal attack or reason to withdraw emotionally. Conflict resolution styles reveal core values about relationships. Does someone fight to win at all costs, or fight for understanding and connection? Are disagreements seen as problems to solve together, or battles where someone must lose for the other to win? The recovery time after arguments tells an important story too. How long does it take to return to normal connection? Mature love finds ways to repair quickly, rather than punishing through extended coldness or distance. This capacity to handle conflict well doesn't happen automatically. It develops through conscious choice and practice. But it creates something invaluable: the ability to face difficult truths together without damaging the connection that makes the relationship worthwhile in the first place. Pay attention to whether difficult topics can be discussed at all. Some relationships maintain peace by avoiding important issues. This creates temporary harmony, but prevents genuine intimacy and problem-solving. Mature love creates space for difficult conversations while maintaining respect. Even body language during disagreements reveals emotional maturity. Does someone maintain an open posture or physically shut down? Can they stay present even when emotions run high? These physical indicators often reveal capacity for mature conflict resolution more clearly than words. One of the clearest signs of mature love appears in how naturally someone includes another person in their vision of the future, not just for special occasions, but in everyday life planning. This shows up in casual references to upcoming months and years. Does consideration for the other person appear automatically in decisions? Are future scenarios naturally inclusive rather than focused only on individual plans? This doesn't mean giving up individuality. Instead, it creates an expanded perspective that honors both personal growth and connection. It's not about merging completely, but about considering both people's needs in decision-making. This integration happens naturally, not as a performance to prove commitment. It emerges through a genuine shift in perspective that sees both people as part of a connected system rather than completely separate. When someone truly sees a shared future, their present behaviors naturally align with that vision. The other person's well-being becomes connected to their own sense of fulfillment. Watch for practical evidence of this future thinking. Does long-term planning naturally include both people's needs and dreams? Are major life decisions made with consideration for how they affect the relationship? This future orientation appears in subtle references during everyday conversations. Casual mentions of "when we do something months from now." Natural inclusion of the other person when discussing future plans. These aren't calculated statements designed to create false hope. They're glimpses into how someone genuinely pictures their life unfolding. The most telling aspect is how this future vision affects present choices. Does someone make decisions today that support the relationship tomorrow? Do they invest in building foundations that can support shared goals? These present actions reveal whether future talk is merely words or reflects authentic intentions. This shared vision creates a powerful foundation for navigating life's uncertainties. When both people see themselves as traveling together through time, short-term challenges become easier to overcome with that longer perspective in view. Even ordinary decisions reveal this future orientation. Where to live, what to buy, how to spend free time. These choices show whether someone is thinking as an individual or as part of a partnership with shared goals and values. Financial decisions particularly demonstrate this perspective. Are resources allocated in ways that benefit both people's futures? Is there transparency and collaboration around money matters? These patterns reveal whether someone truly sees their life as intertwined with another's. The biggest misunderstanding about mature love is thinking it lacks passion. The reality is exactly opposite. It's not less passionate, but more meaningful, creating depth instead of just intensity. What feels like passion in chaotic relationships often comes from the same brain chemicals as anxiety. Real passion grows when emotional safety allows for genuine vulnerability without fear of betrayal or abandonment. Mature love might create fewer dramatic stories, but it builds more meaningful lives. It's built on feeling secure rather than constantly activated by threat. This foundation allows for deeper connection than relationships fueled by uncertainty ever can. When evaluating relationships, ask whether they provide security or just excitement, consistent care or just occasional intensity, investment in growth or just momentary pleasure. The answers reveal whether the connection supports healing or just keeps reopening old wounds. The most profound form of love isn't found in heart-racing uncertainty, but in the quiet confidence of being truly seen and consistently chosen. This creates the safety needed for authentic self-expression and emotional healing, not just for happiness in the relationship, but for fulfillment in life. This security doesn't extinguish passion. it transforms it. Instead of the roller coaster highs and devastating lows of immature connections, mature love creates a sustained warmth and depth that actually enhances physical and emotional intimacy over time. True passion isn't measured by intensity, but by authenticity. The ability to be fully present and genuinely connected creates moments of profound intimacy that superficial relationships never achieve, regardless of their dramatic nature. The choice between mature love and dramatic intensity isn't choosing between boring security and exciting passion. It's choosing between authentic connection and the illusion of it. Between relationships that heal old wounds and those that constantly reopen them. Between love that helps people grow and connections that keep them stuck. Physical intimacy in mature relationships often deepens rather than diminishes with time. When emotional safety creates true vulnerability, physical connection can reach levels impossible in relationships built on performance or insecurity. This genuine passion grows from trust rather than novelty. Even the quietest moments can contain profound connection. Sitting together in comfortable silence, sharing everyday routines, navigating ordinary challenges as a team. These seemingly mundane experiences create a tapestry of intimacy more meaningful than any dramatic high could provide. What society often celebrates as passion, jealousy, obsession, dramatic conflicts and reconciliations actually prevents the development of mature intimacy. These patterns create emotional chaos that makes genuine closeness impossible. True passion emerges from stability, not instability. Once you recognize these signs of mature love, everything changes. Relationships that once seemed boring suddenly reveal their hidden depth. Connections that seemed exciting might show their fundamental emptiness. And with this new vision comes the possibility of finding or building the kind of love that truly lasts. The kind that heals instead of hurts, that grows instead of diminishes, that brings out the best rather than triggering the worst. The journey toward mature love often means healing past wounds that create attraction to chaos. Many people chase dramatic connections because they feel familiar, not because they feel good. Breaking these patterns requires recognizing what healthy love actually looks like in daily life. This understanding doesn't just change romantic relationships, it transforms all connections. The same patterns of consistency, mutual care, healthy boundaries, alignment between words and actions, respectful conflict resolution, and shared vision create depth in friendships and family relationships too. In the end, mature love offers something far more valuable than momentary excitement. It creates a home for the heart, a place where authentic self-expression, growth, and healing become possible. A foundation that supports becoming the best version of yourself rather than staying trapped in cycles of emotional chaos.